Now, dominating the newspapers all weekend were rumours about the marriage of England and Chelsea footballer Ashley Cole and pop star Cheryl Cole. 5 different women have now alleged some kind of involvement with Ashley, ranging from receiving saucy texts to a one-night stand. While the allegations continued to mount, Cheryl chose to stick to her work commitments in America, where she's recording new material for her next album. Now, of course, we don't know the truth behind the headlines, but in our own lives, when it comes to us, do you think it's a good thing to put a little bit of distance between you if your relationship's going through a bit of a tricky patch?
Yeah, I do. I think distance can be quite a good way of having clarity. I think certainly if you've tried all the talking and all you're doing is arguing all the time, it's probably best that one of you does disappear. I go to my mum's. I say to Paul, I'm going to my mum's. And Paul says, well, I'm going to my mum's. I'm like, well, someone's got to stay here and look after Bo. But actually, what it does do is it gives you a chance to sort of think about how you truly feel in a certain situation. And, I mean, even if it's not necessarily that, you know, you come away and you look at it and you think, I'm actually happier away from this person. That's quite a big thing to face up to. Mm-hmm. But I think you do need to
I think that's possibly the danger, you see. You might think, actually, I quite like this now.
Yeah.
And I think, yeah, you know, I mean, that happens. I mean, I don't think distance makes the heart grow fonder at all. I think it drums a complete wedge apart. It did with me, but then, in my case, I wanted it to... No, what I was going to say was that when we were really happy, I always made sure the unit stayed together. Whatever rows we had, I always made sure our unit was tight. But once I wanted him to go, then I did send him to Spain and you know, maybe he won't come back now. So I think that's the difference.
And arguing in front of the children, is this the thing?
No, absolutely, it was terrible.
And it depends on your mindset as well, because sometimes you need a little bit of time out just to think things through more clearly. And obviously, you know, in your case, Sherrie, you just wanted to get away. It depends on what your personal circumstances are.
Well, actually, you're right, though, Andrea. If I had taken time to think things out and maybe, you know, you go and maybe it would have been better and we would have drifted apart. It would have been better for all of us.
I found, to be honest, at the beginning of our relationship, we were forced to be apart because of my work, because I was doing operas abroad and concert tours and so on. And I hated it. I just hated it. I remember when Chloe's first birthday came around, I was in St Louis doing a concert and I'd sung None But the Lonely Heart, a song by Tchaikovsky, and I just burst into tears on the stage in front of 2,000 people. I said, I'm really sorry. Very nice, but I shouldn't be here. It's my little girl's birthday. I want to go home. And they were so lovely about it. They'll give me a big clap, give me standing ovation. But I made the decision there and then I was not going to be away from my family.
But that's different to being away from your husband. I mean, obviously missing, you know, your child's birthday or what have you. But if you've ever had a difficult point in your relationship,
Well, we have, yeah, because, I mean, you all do, don't you, since then, because we've been married nearly 20 years now. We find that the best way is to go away, but to go away together, to get away from home, to get away from the kids and work and all the things that are causing such terrible stress. And because often it's born out of your circumstances, the problem that you're having. You know how lonely sometimes it can be. It's the worst loneliness, isn't it, when you're actually there with your partner and you think, I've just lost touch with who you are, you know, because we've lost our way a bit. So whenever that happens, it doesn't happen that often, we just say, come on, we've got to get away, and then we find each other again.
You stayed in the relationship, and you can sometimes be with someone and still there's massive distance, even though you're in the same room.
Yes, terribly lonely and so upsetting. And also, it's always to do with money worries as well, isn't it? You know, when money flies out the window, love follows it. And you know, that was one of the things. And not to talk about it because, you know, just pretend it's not happening. And that's the other thing that, of course, will drive the wedge, you know, when you won't talk about things.
I have to say, though, Sherrie, you know, you touched on the whole absence makes the heart grow fonder, and you maybe disagree with that. I think it's true. I must admit, it's nice to miss someone. If you do go away, and even if it starts off as a fairly prickly sort of reason as to why you're apart, it's nice to miss them being around, and I think then you can come to a rather more clear decision whether you want to be together or not.
And also what's equally as important is when you do use that distance or you go away from your partner, it's who you're with at the time as well. You need good friends giving you good advice, because, you know, you don't want someone who's got another angle, for example, saying to you, oh, he's always been like that, he's terrible to you, you should go. You need someone that's going to have a kind of balanced view.
But, you see, if they do go when you go, oh, I like this, then I'd change the locks. I think that's the best. true, though.
That is true. We'll leave it there. It's time to catch our breath. But after the break,